Morning guys, welcome to Hollywood Hills episode 19 of 2019. That means we are rapidly heading towards the halfway marker of the season. This week we're going to talk about something international, Berg. So the classic venue and the classic event, 25 years of running on this tour as well. So that's huge. Anyone remember who the first winner was? Alfie Cox. That's right. That's a huge story as well. In later years, the big story was Taddy Bezuziak basically dominating this event. The only rider to go 5 wins, not in a row, funny enough, but 5 wins all in all. That record got matched this time around, just a week ago or so, and that was Graham Jarvis. He's also gone 5. So Taddy and Jarvis are really the kings of Berg, and in a 25-year of running, they have dominated between them 10 years. But watch out for the South Africans, because they are coming and coming strong. This year we had the biggest entry of South Africans rolling across there to get the job done. It's relatively achievable, relatively affordable, and I put that in inverted commas because nothing's really affordable when you're spending rands, but it does cost a lot of money. But you had a couple of new bloods going across there this time. We've always seen TT, Wade, we've seen a lot of the key players going across there. Flanny's had a couple of cracks at it as well, although he did suffer this time around. He's credited with a number 21 finish, but he didn't get the finisher's flag, and that's what he's desperate for at the moment. Blake, he's out there as well. He had some major problems this time around. Didn't quite get it going. But then you had Lloyd Kirk going across there. The Slayer, Matty Green starting to test his metal. And it's against the Iron Giant, Metal Iron Giant. Stay with us on the puns. It's very early on a Monday morning. But the cool thing was just to see so many South Africans, riders, supporters and families going across there. In fact, I think it was Flanny that went on social media and said it felt like he was at a local race. Felt really cool, and that's definitely going to help the guys going forwards into the rest of these kind of events and certainly towards Berg in the future. But it was Jarvis that took the win. It was Wade that kept his blade sharp. He got a number 5, although he said he had some major problems with a collapsed moose at the dinner, and that was up in the rocks. That rock section is just an absolute nightmare. Carl's dinner, just horrible. Flanny also had his issues there. In fact, pretty much everyone had their issues there. That was where one of the big time bars was, and that came into play. You can see the finishers there. I think there was less than 20 guys that actually got the finishers flags, and that's because Berg is so tight, they really don't give you much time to play at all. I think it's a 4-hour race or 4-hour bracket that you have. If you don't make it, you don't make it. You just pack up and you come back next year. But fair play to Wade. He gets the job done. It was a top 10 for TT as well. So he's starting to get himself into the mojo as we get into the halfway marker of the WESS series, and the rest of the guys still looking for their finishers flags. But that was Berg, and fair play to all the South Africans and everyone that went out there, and mostly to Jarvis for getting his magical number 5, matching Taddy. Next thing that happened is this weekend. That was the latest round, and it was Hazy View round of the Lowveld Enduro Club. And the man who went across to test his mettle at the Iron Giant, Barnett Erasmus, came back and dominated once again. He really does have one hand on the trophy already this year. He's the reigning champion for the Lowveld Enduro Series, and this time around, Hazy View, he got the win done. But he was pushed hard the whole way through the weekend by Luke Walker, and those guys are really the cream of the crop as far as that championship tour goes. So what else went on this weekend? Our friends over at 421 Racing went to Ottosdal for the latest round of the Africa Off-Road Championship. This is what happened. So as expected, a nice early run coming in for Gideon Jacobs. He did a great job the whole way through the race. In fact, he had the race won until 10 Ks before the finish. Unfortunately, it was a water pump this time around that let go in the dust in the very hot conditions and testing conditions up at Ottosdal, and he had to retire. So that means he's going to have to put more work into the 421 Racing KTM machine to get himself back into position. But the speed was there, as it always has been. Marty Backfisher had a bit of a rollover early on in the race. She was back onto the big Raptor this time around after being on the KTM for the last couple of events. Small rollover, no injuries to bike or rider. She got up and placed 7th overall against a very solid men's field. Quintus Swanepoel did a good enough job to get 5th in the overalls for the quads, and that also puts him in great stead. And then it was Hendrik Rutt, who represents 421 on the bike side of things, that took a category win. Very strong result in the overalls, and he's also in a great position for the overall come the end of the championship racing season. Then in the afternoon session, side-by-side racing, and that meant Gideon was going to be on the wheel and Junior Vardy was going to be on the notes for the first time. And for the first time, the team brought home the side-by-side in a very strong position. They got a win in category and they placed high in the overalls as well. That's the best side-by-side the 421 squad have had on the side-by-sides the whole way through 2019 since deciding to jump in and do a little bit of elbows together racing. But fair play to the 421 squad. They had a good weekend, and now they can take a little breather, as we all do, to get ready for the second half of the season, which rolls forward into July. Next up, it was a great racing and learning weekend because our friends over at Black Iron Racing had a ladies training camp. So the Peterson sisters were trying to give back to this sport. It's something they've wanted to do for a long time, and the people at Black Iron Racing were able to help them with this initiative. We had riders from all the way down from I think like 7, 8 years old, all the way through to the ladies that are racing in the senior categories. Very strong turnout and good because they worked through hole shots, they worked through cornering, they worked through body position, and it was definitely a worthwhile endeavor. Watch out for social media as well because there will be more Black Iron and Peterson sisters training sessions coming up through the year. But the first one went down really well. Good job to the girls, and thanks to everyone who went out and supported that initiative. Coming up at the end of the month then, we've got 2 double bangers. Next week, sorry, the week after next, should I say, I'm going to be going to the desert. I'll report back on what goes down there. We're going to have maybe 1 or 2 bikes, 1 or 2 quads, but as I said in the previous show, it's predominantly for the cars this year around, giving the off-road bike guys a nice big gap in the middle of the season to try and get themselves ready because their event rolls forward a little bit later into Bloemfontein, but we'll cover that in the shows as we get closer to the times. What's coming up at the end of this month then? So the first event is going to be on the 22nd of June, and it's a brand new event that's just come in on the calendar, 22nd of June, and it's 424 racing in conjunction with Casper Petersen. That's Old Man Petersen, the father of the 3 racing Petersen sisters. It's going to be an incredibly new event and a different race format, so hang in there, I'll explain it to you. So this is essentially going to be a charity race. It's for the Cancer Association of South Africa, and it's going to be a time challenge. 250 Rand per rider, and listen to this for a race format because I really dig it. The track is going to be opened up for 5 hours. In those 5 hours, you can go out for as many laps as you want, bikes or quads, whatever you fancy. And it is only your fastest lap that counts in your category that you've entered. So if you want to go out there and bang 7 laps, or if you want to just bang 1 lap, I think most of the guys are going to go out for a sighter in the morning session, come back, regroup, and smash home one that counts. So really hope you guys will be out there. It's going to be in the Bronkhorstspruit area. Please go onto the website. You can check in with the guys. They'll tell you how to enter, and you'll also give you a pin drop as well. We really hope you guys will go up there. Pretty much all the money is going to be going to charity, and fair play to Casper Petersen and the 424 racing crew for getting the job done. While I mentioned 424, let me give you a little bit of update on what is happening with our friends up in Middelburg. With a poor turnout in the first 3 rounds of the championship, they decided to draw a line at round number 3. So what was predicted to be a 6-round championship has now been capped at the 3 rounds. So watch out on Hollywood Hills. We're going to be reporting back on the top 5 finishers in each of the categories on next week's show. But that is going to be the official end of the cross-country racing series. But it's not the end of 424. Jonathan has been really good at putting these events together. Casper Petersen has actually basically joined forces with him for this Cancer Time Challenge event, and there will be more events going forward as well. So it's not the end of 424, it's a new beginning. We hope you guys will be up there for the Time Challenge, and certainly going to be fun to see who can throw down the hot laps. It's going to be a 30k loop, and it is going to be rideable for all levels of riders. So we hope to see you guys up there. Then the last racing weekend of the month, that is going to be the 29th of June. I'll roll back up to Middelburg for the classic round number 3 of the Farm Jam. Round number 2 was huge. We had almost 200 riders in the queue covering juniors, quads, and the bikes. And this is going to take us into the halfway marker of their 6-round championship. So that is the 29th of June, round number 3 of the Farm Jams. I will be up there on the mic, and I will see you guys up there. For now, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We covered Berg, a little bit of the Lowveld, and we talked about all of our friends and our partners that have been with us so far at the halfway knuckle of the championship and the halfway knuckle of 2019. Join us next week where we wrap up the championship for the 424 Cross Country Championship Racing Series. Cheers.